Hi, I'm calling from Rock Canyon High School.
Making cold calls is one of those things that most people dread. And it's even a bit more intimidating for high school students.
Our group is interested in studying the different species of pine bark beetles and their effect, like based on elevation.
Risk-taking, however, is just a daily part of this biotechnology class at Rock Canyon High School.
You gotta be brave sometimes, okay? Put yourself out there. Be ready to be shot down, it's okay.
Unlike the traditional science labs, these students have voice and choice in their learning.
If you could potentially help my school and I out with these samples or have any questions, please email me.
They got to design their own investigation. They extracted and purified the DNA from the organisms that they were testing, and they sent those off to be sequenced.
These scientists are using a new concept called DNA barcoding to identify different species.
You'll be able to make a little phylogenetic tree and compare it to other organisms.
And to test a variety of hypotheses.
So we took tuna samples from a bunch of different restaurants from around the area. We wanted to see why some places charge so much for different kind of sushi if it's all the same tuna.
While this is usually considered a college-level lab,
there you go.
It's not just the high schoolers who have defied expectations.
We went to the botanical gardens with some of Miss Fordham's high schoolers, and any unknown species or anything they weren't sure of, we got samples of.
Sixth graders from Copper Mesa Elementary also mastered the content.
Some people would say sixth graders can't do this, and their response is, well, why not? It wouldn't even occur to them that they couldn't do it.
You can do it, and you can accomplish anything that you want to do. You just have to put your heart and your mind into it.
I think people tend to rise and fall to the expectations we have of them. And when we have high expectations of our kids and expect them to behave certain ways, I think they live up to that. And I think this lab was a perfect example of it.
You guys are rock stars. Nice job.
No, see that little thing down there, that little black spot? That's your
working side by side, and in some cases independently.
Two of the students were doing so well that I actually pulled the high school student away from.
It's pretty amazing to feel that we can do this on our own without high schoolers.
Eventually,
So do you notice that some of these have the exclamation?
the students got the results.
Those are going to be low quality.
While some got a DNA barcode.
Miss Fordham wrote that we were the highest scores out of her class and our class.
There's multiple peaks overlapping here. Do you see that? That's called high background noise. That's not good.
Others came up short.
That's real world. Nothing works the first time. I mean, it's so rare for something just to be perfect right off the bat.
While that may seem like a failure,
You could do a search on that name right there.
Chandra sees it as a huge success, especially for educators that are transitioning from being a sage on a stage to being the guide on the side.
It takes a little bit of guts to be willing to go down with the ship and let it fail if it's going to fail, and know that the kids are still learning. I hope you guys remember when you came in to start with that I told you guys all, if you're going to do this lab with me, you have to be okay for it to fail. I think that the more we risk as teachers, we're willing to let kids take over and know that they might fall. I think that's when you're going to start seeing even higher level of success.